Welcome to the Nameless.
I drive the same highway home every night. There's only 12 exits. Last week, there were 13. I know that sounds small, forgettable, the kind of thing you miscount and move on from. But I've been taking that highway for 8 years. 8 years of the same routine. I leave work at 10:47 p.m. Not 10:45, not 11. My shift ends at 10:30, but I linger. Close tabs, wash my mug, pretend I'm not stalling before the drive home. Then I merge onto Route 16. It's a straight shot, 27 miles, 12 exits. I don't use GPS. I don't need to. Exit 1, Industrial Park. Exit 2, the Old Mall. Exit 3, Cedar Grove Road. I could list them all. I have listed them all, out loud, in order, more than once. There are 12. Last Tuesday, I saw 13. It was late, later than usual. Rain had been threatening all day, but never showed up. The air felt heavy, like something waiting. I merged onto the highway, and the road was empty, completely empty.
Not a single pair of headlights ahead of me. None in my mirrors. That's rare. Not impossible, just rare. I remember thinking how quiet it felt, even inside the car. Then the first green sign passed overhead. Exit 1, normal. Exit 2, normal. I didn't start counting until exit 5. I never do. It's just habit, something to keep my brain awake. 6, 7, 8. My eyes drifted to the radio clock. 11:03 p.m. Exit 9 came into view. The sign flickered slightly in my headlights. Probably the rain starting. I couldn't tell. 10, 11, 12. I relaxed a little at 12. That's the last one before mine. Mine isn't numbered. It's just a ramp that curls off near the tree line. Always has been. Except that night, there was another sign. Green, reflective, fresh looking. Exit 13, Mercer Road. I remember the exact moment my stomach tightened. There's no Mercer Road. I know that because I grew up here. I didn't slow down. I didn't swerve. I just kept driving.
But my brain felt like it snagged on something sharp. Maybe they added it, quietly. Construction happens all the time. New developments, new neighborhoods. Still, the sign looked wrong. Not old, not damaged, just out of place. Like someone photoshopped it into the world and forgot to blend it in. The font was slightly thinner. The arrow pointed down at a steeper angle than the others. Small details, easy to ignore. I took my usual exit and drove home. I didn't think about it again until the next night, when I counted. 1, 2, 3, all the way to 12. And there it was again. Exit 13, Mercer Road. Same sign, same thin font, same sharp arrow. The exit ramp curved down into darkness. No street lights, no visible buildings, just trees. I told myself I must have missed it before. Maybe it was always there, maybe I just never noticed. That explanation lasted about 3 seconds, because I know my drive. You repeat something enough times, it becomes muscle memory. I could probably draw that stretch of highway blindfolded. There are 12 exits, not 13. I didn't take it that night either. But I started thinking about it at work. Between emails, between sips of lukewarm coffee, I opened Google Maps, typed in Mercer Road. There were several results, none near my town. I zoomed in on the highway, scrolled slowly along the route. There were 12 exits, mine included. No Mercer Road. I leaned back in my chair and laughed quietly. The kind of laugh you do when you're trying to deflate your own paranoia. Maps aren't always updated. Still, that night I paid closer attention. The highway felt longer. I don't mean physically longer, I mean stretched, like the space between exits was slightly wider than usual. Exit 4 took longer to reach. Exit 7 felt further than it should be. I checked my speed, 65 miles per hour. Same as always. No traffic, no headlights, no taillights. By exit 10, I realized something else. There were no reflective lane markers. The small white reflectors embedded in the road, the ones that catch your headlights. They were just gone. The paint lines were still there, but the reflectors were missing. I don't know how I hadn't noticed earlier. Then exit 11, exit 12, and again. Exit 13, Mercer Road. This time I slowed down, just slightly. As I passed it, I glanced down the ramp. There were no trees. I mean, there were trees further back, but right along the ramp it was just open ground, flat, empty, like a cleared lot. I felt my pulse in my ears. The night before, I was sure it was dense forest. Now it wasn't. I told myself I must have imagined the trees. Memory is unreliable. Everyone knows that. I drove home, slept badly, dreamed about green signs with blank text. The fourth night, nothing dramatic happened. And somehow, that was worse. Everything was normal. Traffic, a few cars ahead of me. Someone tailgating briefly. The reflectors were back. Exit 13 appeared, but it looked older, weathered. The green was faded, like it had been there for years. I almost convinced myself that was proof I'd just missed it all this time, until I saw the mile marker. Mile 218. That's wrong. Exit 12 sits at mile 214. My exit is at 215. There is no mile 218 on that stretch. I watched the numbers tick past on the roadside markers. 216, 217, 218, then exit 13, then my exit, which now came after mile 219. That's when I felt it, that quiet, sinking feeling. Not fear, displacement, like the road had shifted slightly to the left of where it should be. The next morning, I checked official state transportation maps. Nothing. 12 exits. No mile 218. I even found an archived PDF from 3 years ago. Still 12. I called the county planning office during my lunch break. I kept it casual. Hey, quick question. When did Mercer Road get an exit off Route 16? There was a pause. The woman on the line sounded confused. There's no Mercer Road off 16. I felt my throat tighten. I drove past it last night. Another pause, then a slow, careful reply. There are 12 exits on Route 16. Her tone wasn't dismissive. It was certain. That certainty scared me more than anything. That night, I decided I'd take it. I don't know why. Curiosity, maybe, or stubbornness, or the need to prove I wasn't losing my mind. The highway was empty again, completely empty. No reflectors, no mile markers at all this time. The green signs seemed brighter. Exit 11, exit 12, exit 13, Mercer Road. I put on my blinker. The click, click, click sounded too loud in the silence. I turned onto the ramp. It curved down longer than it should have, longer than any exit ramp in this county. The trees, if they were trees, stood further back from the road, like they were avoiding it. At the bottom of the ramp, there was no intersection. No stop sign, no cross street, just a straight road stretching forward. No street lights, no houses, no power lines, nothing. My headlights illuminated smooth asphalt, perfectly paved, no cracks, no debris. I drove forward slowly. The road had no painted lines, no center divider, just blacktop disappearing into darkness. After about a minute, I checked my rearview mirror. The ramp was gone. There was no curve behind me, just more straight road. I stopped the car, sat there, engine humming. I rolled down the window. No crickets, no wind, no distant traffic. It wasn't silence, it was absence, like sound itself had been muted. I didn't see any buildings, but I felt like I was being observed, not watched, observed, measured, cataloged. I don't know how long I've sat there, maybe 30 seconds, maybe 5 minutes. Then my headlights flickered, just once. That was enough. I turned the car around. The road behind me was still straight. No ramp, no curve. But after driving for what felt like too long, I saw green ahead. Exit 12, not 13, 12. I was back on the highway. I didn't remember merging. I didn't remember accelerating. But there I was. My hands were shaking. I drove home without counting anything. The next day, I called in sick. I drove that stretch in the daylight. There were 12 exits. No Mercer Road, no sign of fresh construction, no unusual mile markers. I pulled over near where exit 13 should have been. There was dense forest, unbroken, no cleared lot, no hidden road, just trees. I got out of the car, walked a few feet into the brush. The ground was uneven, untouched. No asphalt beneath, no gravel, nothing. That night, I didn't take the highway. I used back roads. It added 20 minutes. Worth it. But a week later, I gave in. Routine pulls you back. The highway was normal. 12 exits, reflectors glinting, traffic flowing. I almost laughed at myself. Until I passed mile 218. There is no mile 218. But I passed it. And I didn't see exit 13. I saw something worse. An empty sign frame. Green metal border, no text. Just a blank panel reflecting my headlights, as if something had been removed or never printed. I checked the maps again when I got home. Route 16 now ends at mile 215, officially. The state website had updated, shortened, 3 miles gone. Archived versions too. I went back to the PDF I downloaded earlier. It now showed only 11 exits. Mine wasn't listed. I drove it again the next morning. My exit was still physically there, but the sign above it was missing. Just 2 metal posts where it used to be. I don't talk about this much because I don't have proof, no photos. I tried taking one once, of mile 218. My phone camera wouldn't focus. The image came out blurred, washed green. And when I checked later, it wasn't in my gallery. I even asked a coworker if they'd ever heard of Mercer Road. They said, "You mean Mercer Avenue?" I said no. They looked at me like I'd misspoken. Maybe I did. Maybe I'm still miscounting. Last night, I drove the highway again. There were 11 exits. Mine wasn't numbered anymore, just a ramp into darkness. I didn't take it. I kept driving. The road felt longer than it ever has. The mile markers stopped at 214, but the highway didn't end. It just kept going. No signs, no exits, no reflectors. Just smooth asphalt under my headlights. I don't remember deciding to turn around, but eventually I was back at my apartment, parked, engine off, sitting in silence. I checked my dashboard clock, 10:47 p.m., exactly when I usually leave work. I looked at my phone. No missed calls, no navigation history, nothing unusual. Sometimes I wonder if I ever leave the office at all, if the highway exists the way I think it does. Or if I've been driving the same unnumbered stretch of road over and over, convincing myself there used to be more. I still count the exits, every night. Last night there were 10, and I'm starting to think the road isn't gaining exits, it's losing them. And I can't shake the feeling that when it reaches 0, I won't remember there was ever a highway there at all.